It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning and welcome to a special edition of Travel and Cruise Industry News for this, the 20th day of January, 2020. Welcome one and welcome all. Before I get right to our breaking news story this morning, a story from this weekend, on a personal note, those of you that don't follow me on Facebook and other social media platforms, my little buddy Brat the cat crossed over the Rainbow Bridge Saturday afternoon. He was 24 years old, so we won't have our yowling cat while we're trying to do a news broadcast in the morning. Before I get to the story, a quick story about Brat the cat. One, some nice people did a little memorial kind of thing of Brat the cat and posted it out, which I have no idea who these folks are, but it's a nice picture of Brat the cat in a nice little gold frame. But anyway, some 30 years ago, I was in the floral wholesale business, and I had a warehouse in downtown Lynchburg, and I was sitting at my desk one afternoon, and this little diminutive little gray and white cat walked in the warehouse and jumped up on my desk and said, "Dude, I'm here. Where's dinner?" And of course, I started feeding the cat. Well, the cat promptly had 2 litters of kittens underneath my desk. Brat's mother, Brat the cat's mother, was in the first litter. So my longtime girlfriend who lives in Harrisonburg took the cat, one of the cats from the first litter, up to her house in Harrisonburg. That cat promptly got out. These cats are slutty. But that cat got out and got pregnant and had a litter. And Brat the cat was in that litter. And Peggy says, "Look, I took one of your kittens, so you got to take one of mine." So she gave me Brat the cat out of the second litter. I mean, out of the first litter, which is actually Squirt, who was the first cat's grandson. So Brat the cat came home with me to the farm. And shortly thereafter, we closed the warehouse down and Squirt moved out here to the farm. And I had a Siamese cat. So one time I had 3 cats here. We had Squirt, we had Brat the cat, and we had Coco, who was my Siamese cat. So that was a little insane. Of course, the other 2 have gone long before. Brat lived for 24 years. He would have been 25 in April. So I miss the little feller. He was a great companion for me for all these years. And yesterday I did walk around and I kept hearing him yowling at me. So anyway, Brat the cat is gone. So sad, but that happens. So I'll miss him. All right, getting to the major story this morning. This is a story that this kept building over the weekend. And since we've talked about it 100 times before, I thought, well, let's go on a special broadcast and make sure, number one, make sure my technical issues are straightened out from last week. I apologize for that and the last broadcast with the big dead spot. But anyway, Puerto Rico Governor Wanda Vázquez announced yesterday that she has now fired 3 cabinet members as a result of a discovery of a warehouse full of supplies, emergency supplies that go all the way back to 2 years ago to the hurricane relief. And we're talking about water, pallets of water, things like diapers, the kids' disposable diapers, food stuff that keeps. Stuff that under the emergency circumstances needed to be used. So Governor Vázquez has fired 3 cabinet members, and there you can see a ton of water, some diapers, some more Pampers and stuff in there. So it's just a humongous warehouse. So anyway, the folks that got whacked are fired, not whacked. That's probably a poor term of usage. But anyway, the director of Puerto Rico's Office of Emergency Management, Carlos Acevedo, was dismissed on Saturday. And then yesterday, she fired the Secretary of Family Services, Glorimar Andújar, and the Secretary of Housing, Fernando Gil-Enseñat. So 3 of the cabinet members that were involved with this whole mess have been let go. Now, what makes by the way, the warehouse was down in Ponce, where they're having all the earthquake problems, and where those supplies, if not used way back and for the hurricane relief 2 years ago, could have been used recently with the emergency from the earthquakes. Acevedo has denied all the allegations that his office mishandled supplies, saying the agency continued to distribute them, including during the time Hurricane Dorian and Hurricane Karen threatened the territory this past year. Some of the pallets of water, he claims that had expired. I'm not sure about water expiring, but that's what the man said. He said no residents have been denied supplies from the warehouse, which included food, diapers, baby formula, and cots. And yet there was people that were affected recently that had nothing. So this is a continuing whole mess of problems in Puerto Rico. The governor had previously said that the Secretary of State, Elmer Romaine, will now coordinate the emergency aid. Adjutant General of the National Guard will be in charge of the Office of Emergency Management, and she's ordered that the Secretary of State conduct an investigation into the allegations that the supplies were mishandled. Now, there's not any theory about were these people doing something illicit with the supplies to make money or something like that. There's just no charges that way yet. I say yet because who knows what the investigation is going to show. But they clearly didn't get out to the people that needed them at the time that they were needed, right up until, last week, with all the earthquakes and damage and stuff. The discovery of the supplies was made early on Saturday. So we're talking literally, this has all happened this weekend. Several residents were seen opening the rolling metal doors of the building and calling for authorities to distribute what was inside, including the numerous pallets of water and other boxes of emergency supplies. It didn't take long for the families to hear about this, and they started lining up, hoping to get bottled water, food, and emergency radios. So obviously, there's a need. This is just amazing. Now, I'm going to put a little editorial comment on this story. I don't know anything about this lady, the Governor Vázquez. She was about 6 or 7 down the list of secession when Rosselló was ousted from office and ended up resigning. At first, she didn't want the job. She said, "Oh man, I don't want to deal with that." Remember back then, Puerto Rico was having horrible protests against the administration. She was part of the old administration. When it came down that she was the next in the line of succession, there was a lot of people that were still upset about it, saying, well, she's nothing but a political hack, and that's going to cause the same crap that they've been having for years in Puerto Rico. Apparently, she's turned out to be a pretty good governor. I mean, she got the protests and all that business ended. I mean, there's been no, at least that I know of, further protests. Now, I don't have direct contact with anybody in Puerto Rico that's in the loop that would, so I don't have direct comment from anyone there as to how she's doing. But from an outsider who's been tracking this and following this, pretty closely for, over a year now, man, it appears that this lady's doing pretty well. They found this warehouse on Saturday, and in 24 hours, 3 cabinet members are gone, and she's replaced them with new people. Obviously, she knew nothing about the warehouse. And as soon as she found out about it, she took some actions and is getting rid of the people that caused this issue. So I'm thinking that this woman is doing, a pretty decent job. And again, folks, I don't know what her politics are. I don't know if she's conservative. I don't know if she's liberal. I don't know. I don't even know if Puerto Rico has Republicans and Democrats. I have no earthly idea. That part of it, that's beyond me. But I'm just looking at, apparently this woman is serious about cleaning up some stuff and doing things right in Puerto Rico for the first time in years. So my hat's off to her. Horrible story. At least that's a warehouse full of stuff that's going to get used now. And some people in positions of power that are a little more responsible. So I tip my hat to Governor Vázquez. You just keep going down there, lady. Keep doing it. So that's the main story this morning. I wasn't counting on a lot of people being here today because you never know on when you're doing a special who's going to catch that you are. Of course, Bonnie is here now. Bonnie says, yes, she's crying again because of Brat the cat. Yeah, Bonnie, that's I've done a lot of that the last couple of days too. It took a bunch of earthquakes for them to find that warehouse full of supplies. That's the amazing thing. Wow. It's been there all along, and they, just now found them. So at least it's going to get used now. So Gretchen popped in. Hey, good morning, Gretchen. Gretchen's here with us too. Bonnie says hi to Gretchen also. So anyway, hats off to this governor. And again, folks, I could be proven wrong. She could be the political hack that everybody thought she was going to be. But boy, from afar, it sure doesn't look that way. This looks like a lady that's doing a really decent job. And from all I can tell, good for her. So I will be back again tomorrow. And since that will be a regular broadcast, I will make mention of Brat the cat again tomorrow morning. Gretchen says, what happened? Is he gone? Yes, Gretchen, he passed away on a Saturday about 1 o'clock. He had starting Friday morning, 9 o'clock Friday morning, he ate really well and then quit eating. We knew his kidneys had started shutting down, and then it was just rapidly, he went downhill. We went to the vet. Well, actually, we called the vet and said, look, it's time. And so the vet said, well, come in about 11:30, and then we'll work you in. So we went in, and my sister and brother-in-law and my niece we're all there. So we were all there for the last few minutes. So yeah, it was tough news, tough weekend. And I'll miss the little feller. So anyway, that's it for this morning, guys. Thanks for being with me. I will be back with our regular broadcast. No, I still I can't leave yet. I got to do a commercial. So here's a. Do you have a bad back, bad hips, bad knees, or any other mobility issues? Think about Scootaround. For scooters, walkers, wheelchairs, even oxygen needs, delivered right to your cabin. Scootaround for all your mobility needs on your upcoming cruise. Yeah, I almost forgot I got to do that in these shows. But the other project I've been working on with propagating the website with Viator, the website itself is done. The next thing I need to do is I'll have one of our shows, and I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow or not. I don't know if it's going to be this next week or not, because I'll be going to Kentucky after Tuesday's show. I'm actually going to leave Wednesday. I will be back on Friday, late Friday, and we will have our show on Saturday morning back here. And then our friend Tom Henry and I are going to attempt to do a Chillie chat with Tom on board the Norwegian Sun at Sea. Actually, we're going to attempt this about 10 o'clock Saturday morning. That will give me a chance to work all the bugs out of doing Chillie chats on the new live platform. And that's going to be Saturday morning, and Tom will be on his way into Costa Maya, Mexico on Saturday morning, and we're going to chat a bit about the Norwegian Sun. So that should be fun. So that's going to happen Saturday morning about 10 o'clock. So we'll do our regular show Saturday morning and then get ready for a Chillie chats later in the day on Saturday with our friend Tom Henry, best known for the time he has spent over on our Traveling with Bruce, which many of us follow. So that's all coming up Saturday when I get back from Kentucky. So we'll take care of that. So I will be here on Tuesday. Then Thursday will be broadcast from Louisville, and I'll be back in time for all of our activities on Saturday. So that's it for this morning, guys. As always, thanks for being here. And as always, be good to each other and smile a lot. Later, guys.
Thank you for watching today's travel and cruise industry news. Join us every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday morning at 6 a.m. Eastern for another episode. Travel and Cruise Industry News is a production of Chillie's Cruises.